Yeah. So we are doing it together.
Great, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Zion, you are muted. Zion, you are muted.
You are muted. We're not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Loud and clear.
Great, great.
Yes, yes.
I am sharing the two presentations with you. Yes. Please check.
Okay. So let me.
I am sharing the two presentations with you. Yes.
Okay.
Please check.
Okay. So let me formally welcome each and every one of us to this live broadcast. It's AMHROA International Epilepsy Day, and I want to thank you all for making our time to be part of this event. AMHROA International Epilepsy Day, and I want to thank you all for making our time to be part of this event. May I please warmly have all of you welcome as we commence this very important International Epilepsy Day 2025. Warmly have all of you welcome as we commence this very important International Epilepsy Day 2025. We will commence this event with the AMHROA anthem.
Hello, Zion.
We will commence this event with the AMHROA anthem.
Good morning, Zion.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, some people have difficulty to log in. Good morning, Zion.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, some people have difficulty to log
in. It shouldn't be difficult to join. They should just click on the link, register and join. It shouldn't be difficult. It's just a one-line click. It shouldn't be difficult to join. Link, register and join. It shouldn't be difficult. It's just a one-line click. It shouldn't be difficult. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's just recite our anthem. Can you confirm that you can see the anthem? So let's proceed. Let's just recite our
Yes, we can see it from here in Liberia. We can see it.
Can you confirm that you can see the anthem? So let's proceed. Let's just recite
Yes, we can see it from here in Liberia. We can see it.
Okay, thank you very much. So can we please recite the AMHROA Network's anthem? 1, 2, go. Okay, thank you very much. So can we please recite the AMHROA Network's anthem? 1, 2, go. Okay. So can we please unmute your mics. Unmute your mics. Let's recite together. Please unmute your mics. Unmute your mics. Let's recite together.
Hey. Deba meba jandio sana gure.
Please, Mr. Benjamin, help unmute your mic, please. Let's all unmute our mic so that we can recite the anthem together.
Okay, I've unmuted.
Unmute your mic, please.
Yes, it's
Unmute our mic so that we can recite the anthem together.
okay. I've unmuted.
Unmute your mic.
Yes.
Madam Zani, Matola, please unmute your mics so that we can recite together. Madam Zani. Okay, so please unmute your mics so that we can recite together. So 1, 2, go.
In the heart of Africa,
Harmony of transformation. In the heart of Africa,
A vision takes
takes
flight.
part. Transformative
Transformation reforms a beacon of light.
of light.
across
A class of voices, a network of hands,
breaking the stigma,
healing the stigma, healing the soul. From the desert to the seas,
a promise
profound
for mental
for mental
wellness,
wellness,
our
our
common
common
ground.
ground.
For us,
transformation
echoes of
Harmony of transformation echoes both lands, African spirit rising hand in hand. Integration, research, our guide for a healthy, productive African time.
AMHROA, the anthem we sing.
Breaking down barriers, building bridges wide. In unity we stand side by side, increasing souls, lifeline strong, silent voices.
beyond the
Sing along.
challenges we find our way,
Beyond
nurturing
the
compassion,
challenges, we find our way.
Rhythm of progress,
Compassion,
scaling
our
in
discipline.
dismay,
For every
in the
soul
rhythm
we
of
take
progress,
peace.
we take our pride.
We take
For
our
every
stride.
soul,
For
a
every
safe
soul, a
to
safe
confide.
space to confide.
service,
Service integration like rivers that meet. Minds
And
united,
rivers
no
that
challenge
each
to
mind
cease.
united, no
To
challenge
such
to
blooms,
set.
a garden of insight,
research norms regarding
nurturing wellness, morning till night.
morning to night. In the
In a
tapestry
tapestry
of
of
progress,
progress,
stories
stories unfold,
productive
productive
lives,
lives, a future
untold.
untold.
African
African
descent,
descent,
resilient and
resilient and
strong.
strong.
In the
In the
symphony
symphony of reform, we all belong. Resilient and strong. In the symphony of reform, we all belong.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much for that amazing AMHROA anthems recitation. Thank you, and thank you very much. So very swiftly, we will be moving straight to the program of the day. Let me quickly share the So we're going straight into the welcome opening remarks. I will quickly take the opening remarks. And after the opening remarks, we will be having the Secretary General of AMHROA's network from the Gambia to give the keynote presentation. And then we will be having 3 powerful speakers that will be making very insightful presentation today. I will quickly go into my welcome remarks. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the AMHROA Network and the International Panel of Experts, I want to welcome each and every one of us into today's International Epilepsy Day webinar 2025. The theme for today's webinar is titled Empowering Lives Through Epilepsy Awareness and Advocacy. Our sub-theme is bridging mental health and epilepsy, navigating stigma, well-being, and productivity. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to again reassure you this morning that epilepsy is one of the most common neurological disorders affecting approximately 50 million people worldwide. WHO have to say that in Africa, epilepsy is often misunderstood, leading to widespread stigma, discrimination, and exclusion. The condition remains significantly underdiagnosed and undertreated, with estimated 75% of people with epilepsy in low-income countries lacking access to proper treatment, according to WHO. Ladies and gentlemen, on this webinar today, I want to let you know that the burden of epilepsy is not just medical. It extends into the social and economic fabrics of individual lives. Many people with epilepsy faces discrimination in schools, workplaces, and even healthcare settings. The societal exclusion contributes to mental health challenges, including anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Studies have shown that over 50% of people with epilepsy in Africa report experiencing stigma, a figure higher than in many other regions. This is clearly stated by PMC. Let me say here this morning, distinguished gentlemen present on this webinar, that beyond stigma, the lack of awareness and misinformation about epilepsy further worsens the challenges. In many African communities, epilepsy is still linked to myths and superstitions, preventing affected individuals from seeking medical treatments. This highlights the urgent need for education, advocacy, and policy-driven change to support those living with epilepsy. As we mark the International Epilepsy Day 2025, the AMHROA network is bringing together experts, advocates, and individuals with lived experiences to shed light on the intersection of epilepsy and mental health. Now, the webinar today will explore strategies for promoting inclusivity, improving well-being, and enhancing the productivity of individuals with epilepsy across Africa. Let me quickly state the objectives of this webinar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Our objective as a network is to raise awareness, to deepen understanding of the complex relationship between epilepsy, mental health, and societal stigma. Our objective is to explore solutions, share strategies to improve psychological well-being, and empower individuals with epilepsy to lead a productive life. Our other objective is to promote inclusivity. We want to advocate for supportive workplace policies, educational interventions, and community-based approaches to foster inclusion. Now, furthermore, on our objectives today on this webinar is to encourage knowledge exchange, where we will facilitate dialogues among healthcare professionals, policy makers across the African continent and beyond, and advocates and among also advocates and individuals with lived experiences to drive meaningful change across Africa and across the global communities. Let me conclude quickly my welcome address by stating, The first is that we want to see increased awareness across the African continent, across the global communities. We want to see participants gaining a deeper understanding of the connection between epilepsy and mental health, as well as the impact of stigma. We want to see actionable strategies concluded from this webinar, where healthcare professionals, educators, employers will learn inclusive policies and interventions to support individuals with epilepsy. Also, we want to ensure stronger advocacy network. AMHROA as a network with over 20 countries on board and over 200 members, we want to see that this webinar will serve as a platform where we will connect advocates, connect experts, and individuals with lived experiences to drive change beyond the event. Lastly, as our expected outcome, distinguished ladies and gentlemen across the shores of Africa and beyond, we want to see commitment to policy change. Policy makers and stakeholders, we want to encourage them to develop frameworks that will improve healthcare access and societal inclusion for individuals with epilepsy. Our target audience for this webinar includes individuals with epilepsy and their family members, mental health professionals and neurologists, epilepsy advocates, and disability rights activists. We also want to target educators, employers, and policymakers. Lastly, we want to also engage general public interested in mental health and epilepsy awareness. May I, at this junction, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, quickly mention that this webinar will be a catalyst for change, breaking the barriers of stigma and fostering a support for fostering a holistic support where people with epilepsy would thrive and have optimal productivity, not only in their families, not only in their workplaces, not only in the communities, but across all boards. Please do join us and stay tuned on this very important webinar as we have seasoned speakers from Liberia, from Gambia, from Uganda, from across Africa that will be speaking to this subject matter. I encourage you to please be involved in the AMHROA network. If you have not registered as a member, please do well to register and be part of what we are doing, as we are committed to building a mentally healthy society across Africa through reforms and care for the African descent. Very good morning to all of us, and you're all welcome to this webinar. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. May I, at this junction, warmly welcome the Secretary General for his keynote address. Alhaji from the Gambia, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Zion, the Governor. Can you please present the slides?
Okay.
Thank you very much, Zion, the Governor. Can you please present the slides?
Okay, just a minute. Can you see the slide now? Can you confirm?
Yeah, you can see the slide. Yes, it's visible. Yeah.
Yes, we can see that.
Okay. Please go ahead, Sekjen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Zion. You have given a brief account of the the welcoming remarks. This is a very important event for AMHROA Network, as it aims to raise awareness about epilepsy as we commemorate International Epilepsy Day today. Hello, Zam. Can you go to the second slide? Thank you. It is my pleasure to speak here today on the International Day of Epilepsy. Epilepsy, as I'm saying, is a neurological disorder that affects millions of people globally. It is characterized by a tendency of a recurrent seizure, which can cause a variety of symptoms such as loss of consciousness and loss of memories. Whilst epilepsy is a physical condition, it can also have a significant impact on the person's mental health. So this is just an introduction part. As Dan said, we don't want to skip people too much here. So we just want to highlight the link between epilepsy and mental health. It is essential that we raise awareness about the link between the mental health and epilepsy. As mental health advocates, it is important to provide understanding of epilepsy and reducing the stigma surrounding epilepsy on individuals that are affected by epilepsy. The society perceives epilepsy and provide people with
I'm in a meeting.
tools, resources needed to manage
you check.
the conditions and the impacts on mental
Share
health.
new client and old client.
So,
Who was
apology
the last
because the mic is echoing on both sides.
Because right now I cannot see.
As
the
AMHROA
meeting.
Network, it is very
There's no
important
meeting.
to commemorate this day as epilepsy, highlighted by our governor, it's a neurological disorder, and a lot of people are being affected. So as a network, we have to strive, work together, and support those affected by creating awareness. So I don't want to waste much time. We have experts on the room that will give us an insight of epilepsy and its links to mental health. I thank you very much for your kind attention. On that note, I declare this webinar open. That will give us an insight of epilepsy and its links to mental health. I thank you very much for your kind attention. On that note, I declare this webinar open.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Secretary General, AMHROA's Network. That is the voice and the presentation, the keynote address from Alaji from the Gambia. May I please, with your permission, also acknowledge the presence of one of our board of trustees on this very important webinar. I call her my director, Madam Angie Ta from Liberia. Thank you very much for joining this webinar, ma'am.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you, ma'am.
I also want to acknowledge the presence of all our international panel of experts, advisory council on the call. Thank you very much. This is highly appreciated. May I please, with your express permission, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, make welcome Madam Sarah. I want us to please welcome jointly Madam Sarah. Madam Sarah is going to be taking the first presentation on this very important occasion. Sarah is going to be taking the first presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hosting me today, and I'm glad to be here. Greetings. For us, it's good afternoon from Uganda, East Africa.
Thank you.
I know that West Africa, it's still morning. You're all welcome, and I'm happy to present what I know about epilepsy in schools and a journey for young learners. My name is Sarah Nekesa, and I'm the Executive Director of Epilepsy Support Association, Uganda. Thank you. Kindly move to the next journey for young learners. My name is Sarah Nekesa. Slide. And I'm the Executive Director of Epilepsy Support Association. Yeah. Uganda. Epilepsy Support Association Uganda is a membership, the only membership organization in Uganda that hosts and helps people with epilepsy in this country. We boast of having about 20 those families with the caretakers and professionals are also our members. That is Epilepsy Support Association Uganda. Now, when we talk about epilepsy, what is epilepsy? Epilepsy is a chronic neurological condition that affects the brain, and it's characterized by recurrent seizures. Seizures occur due to disruptions to electrical activity in the brain, which may lead to a change in a person's movement, behavior, level of awareness, or feelings. A seizure is a temporary disruption of the chemical activity in the brain and can present in many ways. This may involve part of the body, partial, that one we call it partial because it can maybe only attack your hand or leg or one side of your body. We call it partial. Then when it affects the entire body, then we call it generalized. It is important to note that all seizures involve convulsions, and not all seizures are epileptic seizures. So the burden of epilepsy. According to the World Health Organization, epilepsy affects approximately 50 million people worldwide, and of these, 10 million are from Africa. Nearly 80% live in low or middle income earners and in income countries. And you know, Africa, all of us, we are not really very well placed as far as resources are concerned. So 3/4 of them do not get the medication they need because the medication sometimes become very expensive, and also accessing these medications sometimes are very far away from where they are. So it becomes very hard for them to be on medication. And stigma, discrimination, coupled with myths and misconceptions is a factor around epilepsy. That is a fact because epilepsy is something that very stigmatized. Children with epilepsy in schools are discriminated. Sometimes they do not sit with others after being known that they have this condition called epilepsy. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Hello? Next slide, please.
Hello, Zion.
Yes. Had you lost me? Okay.
No. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So epilepsy can affect a child's learning and behavior, which can impact their education achievements. The disease, but with the right support, they can still thrive. It is true that with epilepsy can have this, their abilities may differ. It is, however, important to note that having epilepsy is not a death sentence. This is what we keep telling children and learners with epilepsy, that having epilepsy is not a death sentence. You can live a dignified life. while you are having epilepsy. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. Now we tried to bring a link between epilepsy and mental health. Research shows that those living with a chronic health condition such as epilepsy are at a much higher risk of experiencing anxiety and depression. It is important to be aware of the link between medication for epilepsy and the potential effects it might have on the learner. Certain kinds of anti-epileptic medication are known to cause mood changes, interrupted sleep patterns, fatigue, lack of attention, or agitation. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Challenges by learners with epilepsy, that is including school. Nobody wants to be embarrassed with a seizure in class or in anywhere where other people are seeing. There's always unpredictability of seizures causing disruption to learning for learners, potential for physical injury during a seizure. Definitely this, we know it, all of us, that when you get a seizure, there is always a physical injury when you do not have enough care. Children and learners with epilepsy feel isolated and stigmatized by peers and teachers. We have known that the teachers in schools and peers, when they learn about a child having epilepsy, they will discriminate against this child. So there is that isolation that is caused for these children in school. Then there is also difficulty making friends due to concerns about disclosing their conditions. Because it's a chronic disease, a chronic condition, it calls for taking medication throughout. So it is difficult to just disclose your position as being a person with epilepsy. Learners who have epilepsy suffer low esteem due to limitations caused by epilepsy. They also have a lot of fatigue and drowsiness, affecting alertness in class. There is need for accommodations in class, like extra time for tests or assignments. Because sometimes if this child has gotten a seizure problem, for example, when they're having a test, or for example, a promotional test, and they get a seizure, this child needs time, extra time, to come back, and then they do their exam to compete equally with others. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So what are the remedies to the challenges faced? To address challenges by learners with epilepsy, we have several remedies which all of us can think of, but it starts with us. All of us who are in this webinar now, we start with awareness raising and sensitization to beat the burden of epilepsy in the persons and families of people who are affected by epilepsy. Let us speak about epilepsy. Let us shout about epilepsy. Let it be a song about epilepsy, such that every child can be understood in school, can be understood everywhere they move. Community mobilizations. We feel that communities should be mobilized to understand the Is it? My host, you muted me when I'm speaking. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because my host muted me. So we are talking about also families and
Please
caregivers.
go ahead. Go ahead, ma'am. Sorry, I was trying to mute some people. Sorry about that.
It's well. It's well. We are talking about also families and caregivers.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, families and caregivers are also the starting point to help a learner with epilepsy. The care we give to these children, to the learner right from home, is very important for the child to pick up and have the courage to go back to that school and also compete favorably with others. But of course, very importantly, drugs have to be available. The anticonvulsants have to be available for people with epilepsy. But then how do they, in Uganda, actually we have a challenge of drug availability in government facilities. But for us, we have come up with what we call drug banks. These drug banks, we partner with faith-based facilities, and we put drugs, alternative sources of drugs, whereby if this person with epilepsy has gone to a government facility and has not accessed these drugs, they have an alternative area of picking these drugs. Furthermore, we have gone ahead to have epilepsy smart schools. We have partnered with schools such that these children can have an environment where they can have they can study well. We call them epilepsy clubs in schools, the e-clubs. So what we do, we support these clubs. We train teachers, we train children in that school, so that they mimic epilepsy, they understand epilepsy, they act around epilepsy. The whole environment around that school knows what epilepsy is. So when this learner has any challenge and has maybe a seizure, everybody around them can support them, for tomorrow is bright for this child. Then, of course, advocacy and engagements with governments. Our convener talked about policy change, and we are, as for us in Uganda, we have engaged with Parliament, we have engaged with the Ministry of Health around resources to do with epilepsy. We do not have enough health workers. We do not have enough neurologists in Uganda. We do not have even carers at hospital level. We do not have. So we keep engaging and advocating at that level. But for a child who is we have gone ahead. This child, when they are in an exam, in a national exam, they get minutes to do their epilepsy as a chance to explore and also compete favorably with others.
I think the network is getting a bit distorted right now. Sarah, can you hear me? We're losing your audio.
Yeah, it's distracted, yeah.
I'm so sorry. My network is very poor.
Mr. Bill, please prepare for your presentation after Madam Sarah. Mr. Bill from Liberia, please prepare for your presentation after Madam Sarah. Madam Sarah, please go ahead. Mr. Bill, please prepare for your presentation after Madam Sarah. Mr. Bill from Liberia, Please prepare for your presentation after Madam.
Father, you are muted.
Sarah, please go ahead. Mr. Bill, please prepare for your presentation after Madam Sarah. Mr. Bill.
Would you kindly put for me the next slide?
I am muted.
Okay. You want this mobilization slide?
Would you kindly put for me the next slide?
I am muted. Okay. You want this mobilization slide? Oh, the network is just getting so distorted. Can you hear me very well, Madam Sarah? We're losing your audio.
Yes, and he was touching a very important
Can
point.
you hear me very well, Madam Sarah? We're losing your audio.
Yes, and he was touching a very important point.
Can you hear me very well, Madam Sarah? We're losing your audio.
Yeah, Edmund.
Hi, Madam Sarah. Hi, Madam Sarah. Edmond, please also be on standby. I said that as soon as Mr. Beal is done, you will shoot your own presentation. But we haven't got your slides yet. So please kindly share.
Yeah, I did share my slide, and you just have to look there quickly, and I'm on the standby. Thank you, sir.
I haven't got your slides yet. So please kindly share.
Yeah, I did share my slide, and you just have to look there quickly, and I'm on the standby. Thank you, sir.
Great. Okay, so while we try to connect back to Madam Sarah, may I humbly request that Mr. Beal, while we try to connect back to you might have to step in to make your presentation, and we will come back again to Madam Sarah's presentation for her to finish up. But just so that we manage our time, please permit me to call on a very good old friend of mine, Mr. Beal. I have met with him a couple of years ago, sometimes in Kenya, under the Speak Your Mind campaign program by United for Global Mental Health. And I also met with Mr. Benjamin alongside, still on the Speak Your Mind campaign. I'm really happy to have them as our speakers today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please do help me make welcome Mr. Beal and Mr. Benjamin. You have the floor now, sir.
Thank you very much. Simon, I share the presentation with you. Please put it up. I share with you the presentation in your WhatsApp.
Yes, sir.
All right. Please put it up.
Yes, sir. I'm putting it up now.
Please put it up. I share with you the presentation in your WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right. Please put it in the presentation.
Yes, sir. I'm putting it up now. Sorry, please, just a minute. Sorry, please, just a minute. I want to quickly get okay. Sorry, please, Mr. Bill, just a minute.
All right.
I want to quickly get okay, here we go. Can you see it now? Can you see your slide, sir? Just a minute.
Very clearly, thank you. Let me say greeting to everyone from Liberia.
Can you see it now? Can you see your slide, sir? Just a minute. Very clearly, thank you.
Yes.
Let me say greeting to everyone from Liberia.
Hello.
Can you see it now? Can you see your slide, sir?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
Thank you. So we are grateful to be on this platform today to share our experiences from the Republic of Liberia. And we are talking on overcoming stigma and maintaining wellness in our recovery journey. And we want to share our personal experiences of seizure attack and how we progress to recovery. And our presentation will be done by two individuals, and I will be the lead, and then Alfonso King will be coming on later on. Next slide. We are from a network of persons with mental health condition, neurological, and substance use disorder service users in recovery. We are involved in recovery management through mentorship, coaching, advocacy, livelihood sustainability, community engagements, and regaining social status and inclusion in community life. Advocacy, livelihood sustainability. Next slide. Community engagements, and regaining social status and inclusion in community life. Next slide. Here we go to the next slide for you, okay. Recovery management. At CFUH, we are one big family coming from challenging backgrounds. We have a slogan, each one, bring one. The Bring One engagement has been a community-focused outreach for people our kind to gain hope among our peers. Our recovery maintenance and our recovery maintenance advancement is rooted in our effort to reach out to as many as we can find who need us and we need them. Somebody is speaking. There's an echo, please. One house, please. As we celebrate World Epilepsy Day today, let it be known to all that we matter. We can't accept being forgotten and left to die in silence. Next slide. The issue with epilepsy leaves us deserted in the workplace, especially when we are perceived to be spreaders of the condition. We have chosen
one day to prepare 24 hours to prepare material.
Please, can we mute our mic so that we can hear the presentation?
All right. We engage in livelihood activities for survival. We use what we have and seek to improve our creativity by learning from others, what will increase our productivity. Today, our members are involved in value chain addition and other economic initiatives to make our presence felt in the community, not just as people who need help, but as contributors. During the illness, we were consumers. In our recovery, we are potential contributors. Next slide.
Zion, next slide, please.
Okay. Strategy to maintain our recovery. Now, this is a personal life story of one of our peers.
I'm Alfonso S. King from Liberia. I'm recovering from epilepsy. I came down with it illness in 2008. It had not been easy, it had been so difficult living with the disease. I lost everything I ever owned as a human being on earth. My property, my relationship, my respect, my business, my family. It's just not been easy. It not been easy.
Please, sir, can you help us be a little bit audible? Maybe the mic is a bit far from you. We can't hear you very well, sir. Please.
Okay, then I will begin. I'm Alfonso King from Liberia. I've been with this illness since 2008, my first experience. I was in a theater, and when I've experienced this, but it has not been easy. This sickness, the disease, make me to lose everything I ever had as a human being. I lost my property. I lost my business. I lost my relationship. Yeah, my respect, even confidence and trust people had in me. The responsibility people gave me, I lost all. I've been living with this sickness here and there, getting going to people for help. Everywhere I go, nobody want to interact with me. Everywhere I go, nobody want to work with me. Nobody trust me. Nobody get confident in me. Whenever people give me responsibility, and when the seizure attack me, they just back off. They just walk away because what? Nobody can work with a man soul in such a sickness. But I'm grateful today because my thought and believe that I don't go places anymore in my life. But today I'm grateful to this great group, this organization called Cultivation for Use of Hope CFVH, who have given me responsibility that I didn't believe that I could receive anymore in life. Today I go in the street and counsel other people. Though I'm in my recovery program process, but I am a leader to other people. I'm a counselor to other people. Today, responsibility is given to me. Today I go places, I work. But CFVH have been a good group to my left. They have helped me greatly. They have stood by me. They have given me the confidence that my family can give me. I can walk away from CFVH me. And today I'm sitting before you to tell you just a little bit about my story. What do we give in Genesis, the Revelation, we live in here because my story is so long. When seizure attacked me, what I found myself, what I went through, but it's all part of it, but I'm happy today. But I'm part of society. I live happily, I take my medication, and I work with other people and encourage other people that just like me. And I'm proud today for who I am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alfonso King. So you got a live experience of some of the things that we do here at Cultivation for Users Hope. We are using people who have live experience to go out and then share their experiences in communities. Next slide. So we're very happy for your attention. We thank you that you can at least get to understand a gist of what we are doing here in Liberia. We'll be sharing more in subsequent time. Thank you for listening. Get to understand a gist of what we are doing here in Liberia. We'll be sharing more in subsequent time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your presentation, and thank you so very much for sharing also a very live story with us in this webinar. We are most grateful. It's really, I mean, it's really pathetic to know that because of a health condition, an individual will become vulnerable and even suffer disgrace and shame, lose properties and relationship. It's really disheartening, to say the least. And I want to believe strongly that the AMHROA network is completely all out to seeing how we can change this narrative across the shores of Africa and even the global communities. Thank you very much for your very amazing presentation and your kind live experience sharing. We are really grateful. We will quickly, because of time, we will quickly call our third speaker, and we will be having a presentation from him, and then we will gradually be wrapping up. But before we call our third speaker, Alaji, I can see your hand is raised.
Yeah, thank you very much, John. Definitely, we are grateful to hear from that emotional and very touching story. Definitely, this is why such is very important to create awareness on the stigma around. Thank you. Emotional and very touching story. Definitely, this is why such is very important to create awareness on the stigma around.
Okay, thank you very much for that comment. Edmund, you have the floor. We haven't got your slides, but if you want to project from there, let me know so that I can quickly make you a co-host and then you quickly make your presentation.
Yeah, sure. I will appreciate though I share it like 10-15 minutes ago in the direct chat room. But if you can make me a co-host, then we can do real quick. And I appreciate it.
I will appreciate though I share it like 10-15 minutes ago in the direct chat room. But if you can make me a co-host, then we can do real quick. And I appreciate it.
Okay, you sent your presentation to the chat room?
Yes.
You sent your presentation to the chat room. So I'm looking out for it now so that I can just project it. Okay, I thought you were supposed to send it to Alaji.
I just sent it directly.
Find it. Looking out for it now so that I can just project it. I thought you were supposed to send it to Alaji. Just send it directly. Looking out for it now so that I can just project it. I thought you were supposed to send it to Alaji. So just a minute, please. Just a minute, please. So Edmond, I'm making you the host to save our time.
Okay.
So you can project. And so Edmond, I'm making you the host to save our time. Okay. So you can project. Oh, okay, now. Oh, I've seen it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay, now. Oh, I've seen it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, can you see your slide now?
Yes, I can see my slide and I can now start to present.
Good.
And let me say greetings to all of us who are here from Liberia, West Africa. And I'd like to say our deepest condolences to all those who have lost their life because of misinformation, stigmatization, all of that because of epilepsy. So we will be presenting to you on volunteerism and advocacy in supporting people with epilepsy. And I'd like to recognize here today our chairperson for Help Minimize Epilepsy in Liberia, Madam Antonin White Johnson. She's watching us live from Ganta Nimbakante, and one of our partners from Women Empowerment Forum Liberia, Madam Laura B. Kipo. So basically, we have been volunteering as citizens from Nimba County, Liberia, a specific district called Yahweh Mental Health District, where epilepsy is prevalent. And we've been working with 268 life experience. And we are grateful that you've invited us here today to be able to share our thoughts and our experiences as it relates to the condition of epilepsy in Liberia. The next slide, please. To share our thoughts and our experiences as it relates to the condition of epilepsy. The next slide. Share our thoughts and our experiences. Okay, so part of our role as volunteers and advocates, our goal is to reduce the issue of stigmatization that has a huge impact on people who have epilepsy here in Liberia. And we also empower individuals, families, and community through awareness in reducing the issue of stigmatization associated with this. And our approach is by leveraging volunteerism, advocacy, and community engagement to raise awareness and provide support and improve the livelihood of other people. The next slide, please. Well, as you see on the screen, yesterday we were in one of our communities, in a community called Yahweh Mental Health District. It's one of the health districts in Nimba County, Liberia, West Africa. And the girl you see on the screen where I'm helping is somebody who has epilepsy. And the first time we met her in 2022, you would not have believed she would have been this beautiful. And just yesterday when I was in the community, I had to travel from Monrovia, Liberia to go and see most of them. And she met me and she greeted me, and she was coming from the farm. Unlike before, her parents rejected her. She could not be close to her parents. at all because they thought that epilepsy was a witch, but our community approach as it relates to awareness and informing them that this condition is not a witch and all of that, they have now incorporated their child, and you can see her coming from the farm with those things on her head, heading in the town, that now they can now sit together, reason together, sleep together. So Yahweh Mental Health District, she's one of those 268 life experience people that we are working with as a team of volunteers at Help Minimize Epilepsy. So we are grateful that because of our volunteerism today, a child who was once neglected, who was once seen as a witch, can now be incorporated into her home and helping her family. Next slide, please. So of course, yes, I'm a public health practitioner, and I working with a team of wonderful volunteers and stakeholders from around Liberia, and we are very passionate about what we are doing, that epilepsy will not be seen as a death trap for any citizen. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so when you see this photo, this is one of the health facilities that we are working with. It's called the Zikepa Health Center and Maternal Waiting Home. Most of those people you see right there are people who have life experience. And the others you see, we are a mixture of people, volunteers on Help Minimize Epilepsy and stakeholders. This was one of the first time for stakeholders and ordinary citizens to come together at one point that they will be able to interact with people who have life experience. So prevalence and impact of epilepsy in this region is very high. Epilepsy is common among people there with a significant number of people suffering from seizure. For instance, we just told you that we are working with 268. So just imagine. So stigma and misinformation, of course, epilepsy is often misunderstood, leading to stigma, discrimination, and limited access to care. Limited resources. We as volunteers, we are use our social media platforms to be able to raise funds in buying medication, working with local health authorities to provide medication for these people, because the medication is Liberia is even hard to find and it's expensive. So next slide, please.
The next slide. Good.
Okay, great. So mobilizing volunteers for awareness and support. As you can see how terrible these roads looks like. And our chairperson who's watching us right now from Ganta, she's right on that bridge. And everybody thinking it's going to fall. But why are we doing that? We are passionate to helping somebody. To helping somebody to helping somebody in our community that they can be able to have that bright future that they need. So volunteers conduct door-to-door visit, community meetings, and we have public awareness event. We use our social media platform, distribute branded and message, pamphlets and posters and educational materials about epilepsy. Whenever there are situations of health conditions, our partner health facilities that we are working with do the transfer, because we are not authorized to give any medication to people. We also empower and advocate. So through our empowerment program, we currently have one of those life experience person who has enrolled into school. He was able to come up and say, look, I was taking country medicine, which is herb, but when I got to know about help minimize epilepsy in Liberia program that they are doing and provide medical support to the various health facilities. When I started taking the medication, my seizure has now reduced and I'm returning to school. Right now, as we speak, Johnny Prince Dan is in school. He's in the 9th grade and he's going to be taking his WAS this year. Next slide.
What?
So except that some people are talking in the back and they have to unmute yourself. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is one of the emotional part of what we have been doing as volunteers. No, this is not. Can you go back? Can you go back to the other slide? Okay, this one. Challenges faced and lessons learned. If you see us in that photo, that is a lady. One of those life experience person was in labor, but she refused the midwife to touch her, and it was just at that moment when the Help Minimize Epilepsy campaigners arrived. And when we arrived, because she knows us, she has a confidence in us that, oh, we are her friends, and the way we treat her, you see us went around her. And immediately she was able to take one of her medication because there was no medication at the time at that health facility. So the medication we are providing to these health facilities is called carbamazepine. So when she took one of her carbamazepine, she now agreed. You see us going around her, and she agreed, and she went into the delivery room. And it never took 30 minutes while we were there. She gave birth to a child. So those are things that because of volunteerism, because of advocacy, and collective support that we are doing. But we have challenges in raising funds. There are limitations. We don't have no donor at the moment. We are doing all this on our own. There are constraints in time because we live in Moserado, which is another county, and we travel to Limba County to do this awareness where this condition is prevalent. Sometimes language barrier, because some people who have come to these health facilities come from other counties like Riverside County, Bum County, Grand Bassa County, that come into Limba. And those people speak Bassa, Pele, and because of language barrier, sometimes we have it a little bit difficult to present. Next slide.
Yeah.
Please mute. Please mute.
Next slide, please. Okay, so just to conclude, this presentation demonstrates the power of volunteerism in promoting understanding and providing, and also advocating for people with epilepsy. As you see in this picture, the Vice President of Liberia managed to reach out to us because his daughter, the current Vice President of Liberia, His Excellency Jeremiah Kmakun, his daughter has epilepsy. So his family was being stigmatized. And when he saw us as campaigners of, helping with this situation voluntarily, he invited us and we were able to meet with him and he shared his story. And his story has now become a tool that we are using, and it's reducing the issue of stigma, and people are now getting their families into their homes. People are cooking. Those who are life experience can now cook for their homes. And we'd like to say thank you to all of you who brought us here today. Thanks to our lead consultant, Mr. Joseph Sequoy, and Sis Angita, and the rest of those who managed to work with us and continue to work with us. But our challenge is we don't have funding, and everywhere in Liberia, the costs are coming in as it relates to people who have epilepsy. And how can they get involved? Every day they call us to provide our medication for them, to provide counseling for them, but we are challenged. We do not even have motorbikes. We do not have any names. We do social media campaign, collect money on ourselves, and people who see this as a key part of making somebody's life to be better. But again, we say there is still hope. Thank you so much for allowing us to come on this presentation.
Thank you very much. That was very wonderful workshop.
Thank you very much, Edmund, for this very, very insightful and very deep presentation. I mean, one could have only just imagined on the surface the kind of stigma or the kind of pressure it causes. You know, people living with this neurological disorder. I can thank you and your team for the amazing work you're doing, volunteering for this cause. Thank you so very much. I mean, it gladdens my heart to know that an organization as such as yours is existing and you're doing so amazing work in Africa. Thank you very much. We will see how we can, as a network, put our hands together.
I think this one,
and ensure that this support is also spread across the other African countries or across local communities where the need to amplify support and services for persons with epilepsy across the globe. Thank you very much for the presentation.
So what I want to do is not just some
just before we go to the Q&A session, and then we'll take some quick messages, and then wrap up with an announcement. I want to call on Sarah. Sarah, can we call you up now to conclude your presentation, please?
Yes, I'll be very grateful.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So I will. Presentation, please.
Yes, I'll be very grateful. Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to finalize with my presentation. I'll take very little time. I was just telling you how we can reverse, how we can have remedies around epilepsy for learners to continue with their journey in school. So at first I told you the previous picture. Could you kindly go back there? To continue with their journey in school. So at first I told you the previous picture. Could you kindly go back there? Yes, that one. We work in schools because we want every child to thrive in school. So these are the school clubs we have opened up in different schools, both primary and secondary schools, such that epilepsy is mimicked and epilepsy there is drama in school. There is everything that can make a learner comfortable in this school. So we train teachers, we train children, we train everybody around who is able to join our clubs such that children with epilepsy in that environment can thrive and go through life. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you. Zion, next slide.
Yes, so we also do a lot of mobilization. What we do is we work through volunteers, and all these people that you're seeing are our volunteers in the community. We give them bicycles such that they can ride and reach that person with epilepsy, a child with epilepsy wherever he is, such that this child who has stopped going to school due to stigma and discrimination, these volunteers you're seeing here are trained to speak to the families and speak to the children such that they can be able to go back to school. Next slide, please. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so I had also explained that we do not want to see that gap of people having relapses because they don't have drugs. So we partner with 56 faith-based facilities, health facilities in the country. As you can see, we give them startup kits of drugs. These drugs are called, we give them 4 types of drugs: carbamazepine, phenobarbital, and any person with epilepsy, especially learners with epilepsy, can always have chance to be on a continuous medical line other than breaking it for relapses. Next slide, please. It is the same with the drug banks we distributed to others. Then the next one. Yeah, we want to say that having epilepsy is not a death sentence, and a child with epilepsy has any other right like any other child in school. Let us help children with epilepsy to thrive through their education. Thank you so much for listening to me. Let us help children.
Thank you so very much, Madam Sarah from Uganda, Distinguished Executive Director, for that very, very insightful presentation. I am very happy how much you laid emphasis about the school children. I mean, they are a very, very significant future of the growth and development of the continent of Africa. And I'm really happy how you are able to drive around sensitization and also carry them along, providing support to their peers. Thank you so very much for your presentation. We're so very grateful. At this moment, I want to hand you all over to our Secretary General. He will be calling some few persons for goodwill messages, including our BOT members on the call. And then after the goodwill messages, in the next 2, 3, 4 minutes, we will then take questions or comments or contributions. And then we will take announcement of our next line of activities and work plan for the year 2025 from our regional director from East Africa, in person of clinical psychologist Sandra Lizzie from Kenya. Over to you, Alaji.
Yeah, thank you very much, Governor Zion. Our distinguished speakers, we are very, very grateful, and we learn a lot. It's just that we have a network issue, but definitely the presentations were very insightful. We had stories that are very touching. This is why such a webinar is organized, so that we can advocate for the creating awareness on the stigma on the people living with epilepsy. So as a network, it is our pedagogic values to work hand in glove to see to it that we support people with epilepsy throughout Africa. Thank you very much. On that note, I will also invite my landed colleagues, Madam Berry, a Cameroonian based in the Gambia, is a legal practitioner, to set a light and introduce herself. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Thank you, Alaji. Thank you, Zion. And thank you, all the speakers and every other participant. I am Berry Mango, a legal practitioner of Cameroon nationality. I'm based in the Gambia. I've been here for the past 8 years. And it's really an honor to be a part of this group. And I think it's a very powerful movement that is beyond all of us. My hope and prayer is that it will continue to impact the world at large. just like Sarah was speaking, I remembered that epilepsy is something that is not new to any of us or our family. I have seen some of my relatives gone through it. I have seen classmates suffer from it, and the stigma has always been there. Hearing about epilepsy today has taken me down memory lane because I thought maybe this is something that had been eradicated. I didn't have a lot of knowledge on it. I didn't think that it was still in existence. Even when Alfonso was talking about it, saying that some people are regarded as witches, those who suffer from it. I even had an uncle that the family thought he was a wizard because he had epilepsy. So I think going on and hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Benny.
Sorry. So the funds, it's something that is very important, and I hope that that can be done, and that various governments can be called to join in this campaign, because in as much as we are individuals, we are also protected by the government, and the government is supposed to see to it that everyone's right is being protected. So whether there are those who suffer from epilepsy or from any other mental illness or disease, it is part of what the government should take seriously. It is only with groups like this or movements like this that can push the government to make policies that will positively affect the community. And thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Madam Berry, for having you on this platform. We are very, very grateful. Over to you, Zion.
Thanks a lot, Alaji, and thanks a lot, our distinguished barrister, for that very amazing goodwill message. May I please welcome Madam Director Angie Tar. Thanks a lot. Angie, can we quickly take a goodwill message from you, ma'am? Very amazing goodwill message. May I please welcome Madam Director Angie Tar. Thanks a lot. Angie, can we quickly take a goodwill message?
Hello. Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, thanks, Zion, and thanks to all of our speakers. You rightly said it, and this is a very good webinar for us today. At least we did not allow this day to go without observing it, with us speaking out. We all are aware that epilepsy is a non-communicable neurological disorders, as you all said it rightly. But due to ignorance, lack of knowledge in Africa, our people view it as contagious. Yes, so it leads to people suffering from epilepsy and leading to even school dropout, as Madam Sarah mentioned. So all we need to do is to hold hands together, create more advocacy as we are doing at all levels, at the level of NGOs, civil society organization, decision makers, everyone. We need to partners with everyone so that they are educated and understand, so that someone cannot suffer from this condition because of lack of knowledge. So we really appreciated our three speakers. They said it right there. And so on behalf of our AMHROA network, we are really, really impressed. And I know the advocacy is going to go beyond our expectation, so that those that suffer from this condition, they will be able to give the testimony as as others said it during this webinar. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to be part of this webinar today. Over to you, Zion. Are you hearing me?
Thank you very much, distinguished Madam Angie Ta. That's my director. Thank you very much for those kind goodwill messages. Thank you very much, distinguished. May I at this moment open up the floor for comments and questions before we go to announcement from Madam Lisa. Any comments, questions for our presenters? You have a question for Madam Sarah or for Mr. Bill or Mr. Benjamin, or a question to Mr. Edmond? Any questions? Please let me know. Any question, please? Just raise your hand, I call your name, and then you have the floor. Questions or comments? Mr. Edmond, any questions? Please let me know. Any question, please? Just raise your hand, I call your name. No question, no comment. Oh, our speakers have done a lot of justice. Thank you. Okay, Roslyn, please unmute your mic. Our speakers have done a lot of justice. Thank you. Okay, Roslyn, please unmute your mic.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is AMHROA Roslyn Cedric. I am from Cameroon. I'm working with the Cameroon Baptist Convention. I'm a mental health specialist. Yes, AMHROA Roslyn Cedric. I am from Cameroon. So I used to appreciate the presenters, even though due to network constraint, I was not able to follow up with all the presentation. But I think the presentation that I follow up very well is the last one, and I came at almost the middle of the previous one. Follow up with all the presentation, but I think the presentation that I follow up very well. Last one. For concerning the founding, it's true that we need a lot of foundings, especially in low and middle income countries, as far as the procurement anti-epileptic medication is concerned. But also, I also wish to say that we also need more advanced tool, more advanced tool concerning the management and the diagnosis of epilepsy. Because you know, epilepsy has various types, and we have more complex types that usually when they come, we are unable to give appropriate care. Maybe because we are focusing on the common presentation that come with seizure, mostly generalized seizure with tonic-clonic movement and loss of consciousness. Well, maybe the patient would have scars or burns and post seizures, confusion, and so on. We are mostly focused on, we are mostly based on that presentation. Where we have presentations that are more complex. And at times we wonder, is it epilepsy? Is it not epilepsy? I think if we also try to improve on our diagnosis, so also help us, especially if we have more EED availability, we have that is electroencephalogram. We also have more access to AMR. that is imagery resonance, that can also give us very good presentation of neurological disorder that's epilepsy. I think it will help because we have been facing a lot of limitations solely due to financial constraints. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amber, for your comments, and I'd like to thank you very much for that contribution. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Paul, please go ahead, unmute your mic, Paul. After Paul, we will quickly take a group picture, and then we'll hand over to Lisa.
Thank you very much. This is Paul, the Programs Officer, UNAB. I would love to appreciate the previous presenter, and all the presenters have done really justice to us. However, as a representative of people who are blind, I would love to ask and also comment. You know, stigma, it is a double jeopardy when it catches us. You have a double disability, and the one thing we need also to understand, when we speak about stigma, how far have we gone in policy to look for accessible formats for people with disability? Because this information can be present to all organizations, but what of the people with visual impairments? So one thing I would also advocate for, as we advocate for reduction of stigma among people, we should also advocate for accessible formats of information. For example, if you have a website, maybe you would need a website talking about stigmatization, but also should have a braille version. If you have like those who use big print, your website should be able to have the big print, so that some people with visual impairments and they are at the same time having epilepsy can access information, and also the organizations that are working with the blind people, we can access information so that we can share it out to reduce stigma. I think this can really applaud and bring, like when they present about schools, for children to thrive well in school, we believe they should have access to information in an accessible format. So that is my comment and my presentation. Thank you very much. Children to thrive well in school, we believe they should have access to information in an accessible format. So that is my comment and my presentation. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Paul Bamu, for those kind comments and contributions. I really want to see how far AMHROA network can get to in terms of driving the African government to be committed to coming up with reforms in terms of legislations or policies that can also, provide or open up or enhance access, to care for the likes of these mental health related disorders. Thank you very much for those kind words. And I'm very hopeful that in no distant time, AMHROA network will be able to drive a very stronger commitment in terms of advocacy to ensuring policies and legislations that will support the likes of this kind of neurological disorders for African descent. Thank you very much for your kind words. I now quickly hand you over to Madam Sandra for a quick review of our upcoming programs. Over to you, Madam Sandra.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am Lisa from Kenya, a regional director for East Africa, a mental health advocate, as well as a practicing clinical psychologist. I am here to present quickly
on behalf of the Vice President Operations, our annual events for the year 2025 in summary, as from the month of March 2025. On 3rd of March, we'll be observing International Day of Persons with Disabilities. That is March of May 2025. On 24th of March 2025, we will be observing World Tuberculosis Day. Then we go to the month of May 2025. On 21st to 24th of May, we'll be having our International Mental Health Reforms and Care in Africa, that's AMHROA, Summit, which will be held in Ghana. That is 21 to 24th of May. Then in June 5th, we'll be observing World Environmental Day, as being advocates for climate change. Then on September 10th, we'll be observing World Suicide Prevention Day. In October 1st, we'll be observing International Day for Older Persons. Then in October 10th, we'll be observing the World Mental Health Day. On 24th of October, we will also have World Polio Day. And to summarize for the month of October, we'll be having our annual AMHROA International Conference. The venue will be conveyed later. In the month of November, we'll be observing World Diabetes Day. That is 14th of November. Then 25th of November, we'll be observing International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. Then to summarize the year in December, 1st December, we'll be observing the World AIDS Day and close the year on 12th December, observing the Universal Health Coverage Day. On that note, I'll be inviting all regional directors and country representatives for a meeting which will be held online via Zoom on Wednesday. That will be 12th of February 2025 at 11 a.m. West African time for a meeting. I will still be going to post it the same on our WhatsApp group. And that was a quick summary of the events. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Sandra Lisa, our amiable East Regional Director. Thank you so much. Just to add to the announcement is that we will be hosting our next our 2025 International Mental Health Reforms and Care in Africa Summit in Ghana. This will be happening in Ghana from the 21st of May to 24th of May, 2024. Please let's mark some of these information dates in our calendar. But we promise to come again with a holistic work plan and share with you so that you can plan ahead and also mobilize others to join us, as we plan to have minimum of 1,000 membership by the end of this year. And we want to improve and grow our scope across 30 African countries by December 2025. So on this note, I want to thank everyone for making our time to be on this call. I want to please request that you help us turn on your camera. Let's have a group picture together. So on this note, thank everyone for making our time to be on this call. I want to please request that you help us turn on your camera. Let's have a group picture together. I can see Madam Sandra. Please do well to help us just turn your camera. I can see Madam Zoe, all the way from Malawi. Thank you. Please do well. Thank you, Goodwill. I can see Madam Zoe. I can see Ambia from Cameroon. I sent you a message. Please send me a WhatsApp message after the meeting, please. Let's connect. I can see Ambia. We are waiting for Aaron. We are waiting for Aaron. We are waiting for Madam Chamo. We are waiting for Joseph. We are waiting for Babatunde. We are waiting for maybe. Please help us turn your camera so that we can have a very good picture together.
Hi.
Hi, Joseph.
It's Joseph from Uganda.
Yeah. Please help us turn your camera so that we can have a very good picture together. Madam Chamo Oyele. Hi, Joseph.
It's Joseph from Uganda.
Great. Okay. Madam Chamo Oyele. Great. Okay, so I think we can just go ahead. Alaji, your picture is not up. Your camera is not up. Our distinguished Secretary General. We need to capture you in this moment. Okay, so I think we can just go ahead. Alaji, your picture is not up. Your camera is not up. Our distinguished Secretary General. I can see my board of trustee member, the first picture there, Madam Angie. I like the position of your picture. That's my director. I can see my board of trustee member, the first picture there, Madam Angie. I like the position of your picture. That's my director. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, Edmond. Edmond was kicked out. Oh, he's not in the picture. I'm just seeing his message now. Oh, there. Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, there. Edmond, are you here now? I'm just seeing his message. Okay, so let's just take one more picture. Edmond is here.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Great. Thank you so very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for your time. It's really a pleasure having all of you. Thank you for your support. We will together build a mentally healthy society across Africa. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Please
Thank
follow
you.
us on our social media.
Thank you.
Please follow
Sir,
us
thank
on our
you.
social media. I just dropped the handle. I just dropped the handle of our social media. Please follow us. We will follow you back. Thank you, Madam Oyela. Madam
Sir,
Oyela,
thank you for the
thank you
meet.
for joining. Madam Livingstone, thank you for joining. We're grateful that you made your time available to be part of this
Solomon,
important
thank
meeting.
you. Solomon.
Thank you so very much.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Please,
We
if
are
you have
moving.
not yet
Yeah, you're
registered as a
welcome.
member,
You're
please do
welcome.
register. Or you can send me an email. You can send me, or Alaji, please drop your email so people can contact you.
Edmond, thank you. Edmond Bawi, thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear brother Aaron. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, we got a network. We got a network.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear brother Aaron. Thank you.
We got a network. We got a network.
Thank you, Solomon. Thank you so much. Goodwill.
You're welcome.
Goodwill from Malawi. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you so much for joining, Joanne.
All right, then. See you.
Shakira, thank you for joining. Thank you, Joanne. Really happy. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for all your support. Shakira, thank you so much. Shakira, thank you for joining. Really happy. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your support. Thank you so much. I actually forgot. I paused the recording. I thought I was recording since. Oh my God. It's good. I actually forgot. I paused the recording. I thought I was recording since. Okay. Oh my God. As well. Thank you, everyone.